Hey guys, how you doing? Bruce Patrick here, and welcome. Okay, this is going to be the first part of a 7-part series that we're going to dig into all of the nuances of this industry. Okay, and you can call it, people-to-people marketing, direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, incentivized referral program. Guys, it's got a million different names. But let me tell you this: it's the best industry in the world because you're at a point right now that you've decided that you're going to take control or change your life. Or maybe you're here and you've been successful, you're just trying to pick up a few ideas that I use and things like that also. Doesn't matter. But it's exciting to be here, guys, because you know what? This industry opens the doors to thousands upon, if not millions of people. Because right now, this industry actually creates more millionaires than any other industry on the planet. I think getting inherited, which is probably the best way. No, I'm just kidding. But it's a tremendous opportunity. Okay, so you're here for a reason, and you're gonna hear a lot of people. And it isn't. I'm not the first person to say it, but once you really understand, you'll get into it. Is you got to figure out why you're here. What brought you to this point of your life that you said, "Hey, you know what? I want to get involved online." Is it because you need to make more money? You're afraid that you don't have job security out there anymore. You've taken pay cuts like I have. I took 3 pay cuts in 2 years before doing this. Or is it you just don't like what you're doing? You've reached a point in your life and say, you know what? I don't want to travel down that road. And one of the things I'm totally psyched about is I've got my 14-year-old son who just loves this industry. Okay, he'll sit there and he'll watch videotapes of David Wood and he'll ask me about this and that and everything else, and it's exciting because you know what? That's going to be his future. Okay, he's going to be his own boss for the rest of his life. And how exciting is that? To me, that's really exciting because that's the greatest gift that I can ever teach him, to be an entrepreneur. Now, you're here at whatever part of your life you're in, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're old, it doesn't matter because we all have all shapes and sizes. The beauty about this industry, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter whether you've been a corporate executive, a doctor, a lawyer, or whether you worked at, digging ditches or the 7-Eleven or Wendy's or wherever. You have the same opportunity as anybody collectively. You don't have to worry about going to the right colleges or having the right education. All you have to have here is the desire. The desire to go out there and learn this business. Because guys, there's 20, 25, 30-year-olds that are out there tearing up this industry nowadays. And the reason they're tearing up is this new little thing they call the internet. And that's where you're watching me on right now. You're watching me through the internet. Because it's opened up this whole new world. Okay? There's 500 million people alone on Facebook. Think about that. 300 million Americans and there's 500 million that are on Facebook. So we've become global. You can sit there and get on Skype and you can have a conversation with somebody in Tokyo. Tonight. You're going to talk to someone in Korea. It's all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. So this industry is blossoming also. And look at the state of our economy. Let's face it, guys, the economy sucks right now. Okay? People are losing their jobs left and right. Unemployment's been over 9% for over 3 years now. The country's trillions of dollars in debt. And really we're failing. Okay? Most of the companies out there nowadays, they're not raising pay, they're cutting pay. If you've got a state or a federal pension, guys, I'd start to worry about it because if there's no money, there's no money. They can't pay you. I'm sorry. We're going broke as a country, okay? So this nowadays is offering security to a lot of us because we control our own destinies. Like I said, it doesn't matter what your background is. It comes down to the desire. Now, your goals may be different than someone else's. And that's why the first thing I talk about is what's your why? Why are you going to get in this industry, whether you're doing it part-time or full-time, and learn something new or try something again? Because, guys, believe it or not, a lot of us have tried this a bunch of times before we're successful. So if you tried it before and failed, you're in great company, okay? David Woods, a guy I know is online, made a fortune. He failed for 7 years. Ray Higdon failed several times. Now he's the top earner in his company. Guys, the stories are all over the internet, okay? And they're real, okay? So you've got to, one of the things is you've got to be an optimist if you're really going to build this business, because you're going to face adversity. You're going to have people say, oh, it's one of those. Oh, it's one of those. Oh, I've tried that and I failed. Oh, I've tried that and I failed. Guys, the amazing thing is, as human beings, we can try something, fail, and get up and be successful. If not, we never would have learned to walk, correct? And it comes down to your desire, your passion. And if you have the desire and passion, I promise you one thing. You take the time, you learn this. And if it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, if it takes you 5 years, stick with it, you learn it, it will change your life forever. Think about it. Most of us work 30, 40, 50 years so we can get Social Security and retire. Has anybody looked at their Social Security statement lately? And I'll bring that up in one of my videos because I've got it here. But if I was continuing to working at my current job, my current pace, making 6 figures a year for another 25 years, boy, at the end of that time, they're going to give me a whopping $3,000 a month. Guys, and that's after maxing out Social Security every year for 15 years. Guys, $3,000 a month will not lavish you, okay? And there's a lot of people, $1,200, $1,500. Guys, there's people who get involved online. $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month isn't that difficult if you stick with it. If you don't talk to anyone, if you don't market your business, if you don't tell people what you're doing, yeah, it's tough. You're not going to make any money. Because the industry as a whole, guys, the people who succeed is very small to consider the people who fail. But those are the same numbers that apply to people in the regular business world. Drive by the strip malls, your malls today, and see how many businesses are out there that have shut their doors. The beauty of it here is we didn't invest $500, $700, $1 million to start our company. Okay, a lot of these companies you can get started for as little as 60, 70, 80, 100 bucks. Okay, chump change when you really look at the potential. Now, one of the issues you face, because it is so inexpensive to get started, a lot of people don't treat it like a real business. Guys, this is a real, very powerful business if you treat it that way. But one of the things, the first things, you're going to have to sit down, and you can do it with your spouse, you can do it with your significant other, whoever it is, and say, listen, why am I doing this? Do I want to have walkway money? Do I want to be able to walk into my boss's office and hand him my resignation letter? There's a famous YouTube video that was running around for a while, and I loved it. And basically, it was a guy going and quitting his job, and he had YouTubed it. Whether it was staged or not, who knows? But it was just one of the greatest things in the world. You'll sit there and see people fantasize about the lottery. Fantasize, oh, if I win $140 million, boy, I can't wait to quit my job. How would I do it? Would I do it in a corporate meeting? Would I walk into? How would I do it? And people get all jazzed and pumped up and excited about it. You know, guys, face it. Most people out there, or a lot of people out there, do not like what they're doing. Okay, they're doing it to get a check. They're trading time for money. And guys, before you know it, and I can attest to that, I turned 49 in a couple weeks. You don't know where the time goes. Okay, all of a sudden, boom. Kids are in college, kids are having kids, and they're growing up and they're getting old, and you just wonder what the hell happened to it. Everybody started off, we had these huge dreams. A friend of mine years ago, I don't know if you ever finished the book, but I thought it was a great title for a book. And it was called The Death of a Dream. And it was basically how we get to a midlife point in our life where we quit dreaming. Okay? All the things that we said we were going to do in our 20s and 30s, all of a sudden we're in our 40s and 50s, and all of a sudden they've gone by. This gives you the opportunity to change that. And I'm talking to people that are a little bit older now. If you're young, just starting off, guys, welcome, because you're in for a ride. Because I wish I could be one of these people that at 22 years old was making $1 million a month. There's a gentleman I know by the name of Dan McCormick. Dan McCormick got into this industry. He was building tennis courts, making, God, this was a long time ago, $5, $10 an hour, whatever it was. And he got into a company, Herbalife, in the early 80s. And the guy's made 6, 7 figures every year since. And now he's my age, in his late 40s. Guys, the stories out there are real, okay? And the thing is, what you need to do is you need to know how to do it. And the first thing you need to do is start off with your why. Why am I doing this? And you've got to commit yourself to doing it. Don't say, I will try this. If you're going to try this, stop now. Don't waste your time with these tapes. If you're going to do it, let's do it. But don't try it, okay? There's some companies out there that you can try and you can get involved and you can tinker with it and everything else. Guys, if I had the opportunity to make millions of dollars, one thing I wouldn't do, I wouldn't tinker with it. I'd say, listen, let me figure it out. Let me dive in and let's go for it, okay? So the first thing, why you here? Sit there, write out your mission statement. What do you want to do, okay? And once you understand your why, you're going to realize you're going to need to plug into your corporate and company, whatever they're doing. Whether it's weekly conference calls, whether it's webinars, which are very popular nowadays, whether it's Saturday calls or Saturday trainings at the local hotel, whatever it is, plug in. Become a product of the product, become a product of the company, okay? And one of the things I do with a lot of people in my line, and if you're in there, you know, I don't bug people. I'm not going to push you to success, okay? If you're not contacting me, asking me how to do this and this and this, you probably won't hear from me too often except for an email. But the guys that are pushing, the guys that are working, hey, we'll talk all the time. We'll get phone call 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock. We'll talk on the phone for an hour, 2 hours. Hey, what are we going to do here? How are we going to do this? How are we going to strategize this? Because, guys, this is your business. Right now, you're here. This is your business. But we're a team. We're all here together. The beauty of this business is the more successful the people you bring into this business become, the more successful you'll become. The goal in my company is to bring somebody in who's more successful than me. I don't care. If someone comes in and makes more money than me, that's fantastic. That's super great. Okay, because we're all going to benefit. Okay? And the thing is, figure out your why, stick to it, and we'll start to the next step. Next thing we're going to talk about is nowadays there's two different ways to really build your business. It's a traditional way, okay, which is offline. Now, when I say offline, that's the typical things like, hey, make your list, talk to the people you know, do home meetings, retirement parties, whatever it is, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Now, the 21st century way also is online. Now, a lot of people, guys, nowadays are getting involved in this because of this right here, because of the online opportunities. Because, think about it, we talked a little bit earlier, the internet is gigantic. Social networking is gigantic, okay? We are linked in with Facebook, and almost everybody I know on Facebook has a minimum of 60, 100, 200 friends. You know, I've kind of built a little bit of my business on Facebook. We'll talk about that. I have 5,000 on one account, and I'm approaching 1,000 on my other account, okay? And I'm still trying to figure out this fan page thing, which is my next project next week, so I'll definitely do a video on it when I figure it out, okay? And that's the beauty nowadays. If you take the time to go online, you can research almost anything and figure it out. I've taught myself HTML coding. 2 years ago, if you had talked to me about HTML coding and some of the stuff you do on there, I would have had no clue. And I've stumbled through it and I fumbled through it. But guys, we're gonna cut that learning curve, and I'm gonna show you some ways to really benefit and cut through all the stuff that I went through. Okay. So your online, that could be your online advertising. It could be your pay-per-clicks. It could be your AdSense. It could be free marketing. And one of the things when I started this, I didn't spend a lot of money advertising online. Very little, in fact. And I did a lot of my free. So I'm going to give you a lot of online strategies that will cost you very little money. Or if it does cost you a little bit of money, I'll show you how to recoup that back very, very quickly. Okay. Your lists. I'll talk about lists. Okay. Now your lists can talk on both sides, the traditional side, your offline and your online. Because that's the first step that people are going to teach you on the traditional side, the offline, is make a list. Make a list of everybody you know, okay? Don't prejudge. And if I could really get you to understand something, there's a gentleman that I respect immensely. The guy's made tens of millions of dollars. His name's Mark Yarnell. Okay, now Mark Yarnell, when he started in network marketing, and I was around when he got into his first company, he was making $1,400 as a minister. Okay, Mark is now retired and made tens of millions of dollars in this industry. Okay, and one of the things he talked about was not prejudging. He talked about getting and finding a program that you would put your mother into. And basically what that was talking about, it goes back a little bit to our why, is having that belief that anyone can do this business and don't prejudge. Nowadays it's extremely easy because back in the day you used to have to do the home presentations, get the manual out, show them this, show them that, invite them to a hotel meeting, and that was the old school. We kind of modernized that later in the 90s where we had VHS tapes. Hey, watch this, see what you think. Then came the CDs. Nowadays, we've figured out where we can use the internet and online marketing with our lists also, because all we have to do is direct people to a website, have them watch it, and decide for themselves. Sounds easy, doesn't it? Guys, it's harder than you think. We'll talk about some strategies, because believe it or not, people won't watch your link. I know it's hard to believe, but trust me. And then we'll talk about the, building your list online also. Now, building your list online, guys, when you understand the power of the list, it's absolutely amazing. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And that'll be your online list, because you'll get people who will opt into your opportunity, leads you can follow up with. I don't believe in buying leads or any of that stuff. There's some people that have had great success with that. That's not one of the things that I do, so I really don't teach it that much. But if you want to do it, great. I don't know everything. If people want to go off and do their own thing and they're successful at it, great. But the thing is about what we do is it isn't so much what we do that's important. Is what we do, is it duplicatable? Okay? If I went out there and I told you, hey Tom, check out this network marketing company. We can make millions. All we got to do is pick up the phone, and we got to make 30 phone calls a day. Isn't that exciting? What's the first thing he's going to do? What? I don't want to make 30. What? Hey, you know what? Hey, because guys, believe it or not, pain is a stronger motivator than pleasure. Okay? And if we're trying to market our opportunity like by causing people pain, they're never going to realize the pleasure on the other side of having total control of their lives. Okay? So there's different ways to build your business nowadays, and we've got to make it so anyone can do it. One of the strategies my company uses, I'll get into, is hand them a business card and say, listen, we've got a fantastic opportunity. I'd like you to take a look at it. If you take a look at it, you have an opportunity to be in a sweepstakes drawing for $25,000, whether you join or not, but take a look, see what you think. And that's it. If they're going to look, they're not going to look. If we expose it to people, they're going to see what it's all about, and they're going to, because we all understand. We're here. We understand it. We get it. Because, guys, when you understand this industry, you're going to get that bug. That bug will stay in you for the rest of your life. I promise you that. Unless you totally suppress it. It will stick with you forever. Because once you understand it, why wouldn't you do it? It's just taking a product, using a product that we're probably already using anyway, and getting paid for using that product. We share that with a person, and they use the product also. How hard, how difficult is that? It's the simplest thing in the world. Some things I'm going to teach you about blogging. There's a company out there just started, and I'll get through that tape. And if you want to know more, you can shoot me an email. But you're going to pay $25 for a blog. Easily, it's all set up as duplicatable. You're going to share it with people in your downline. It's all set up duplicatable, and they're going to pay $25. Guys, it's the simplest thing in the world. It pays 100% commissions, but I'm not going to go there. But you can send me an email, Bruce or Bruce Patrick, if you want to find out more about that. But anyway, so the different strategies, online and offline. We're going to talk about those later also. And I covered that a little bit. The online strategy is, what's your strategy going to be? Because the buzzword in the industry for the last, I guess, 3 or 4 years has been affiliate marketing, attraction marketing. Attraction marketing, not affiliate marketing, but attraction marketing. And basically all that is, and that's a buzzword not only in our industry, but also throughout the corporate world also. And that's the thing, just talking about branding, okay? Now, branding has been a buzzword in the marketing industry forever, okay? Whether it's Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Budweiser or Miller Lite or whatever, the branding, your image, okay? Because nowadays we're going to teach you strategies online, how to build your brand. And what is your brand in this industry? Your brand is you, okay? You are your own brand. Because, guys, people want to work with a leader. They want to work with someone who, listen, if I call you in the middle of the night, I have a question, I want you to be there, okay? If I need you on a three-way, I need you to be there. Three-way calling is one of the old strategies. I don't do it a lot. Because nowadays, what I want to do is I want to get people to the site, either they see it or they don't. And we'll go through some of that. I'm not big on this closing stuff and everything else, but we'll talk a little bit about that later. But branding is just kind of your image. You're out there, okay? And we'll talk about personal branding and blogging and attraction marketing. And basically what that is a way to create leads. People that are drawn to you want to be part of you, okay? And we'll teach you that also, okay? But this is the first one. I just want to go through a few things. I'm going to probably spend the next couple of weeks putting these all together. If you want to be part of the list, I'll put a link over here that you can opt in, and I'll send you the password to the site, and you can just be part of it. If you're part of my team, get a hold of me. I'll make sure you've got the password. If you're from another company or another organization, that's fine, because one thing about this industry, I love this industry. I look at every opportunity that's out there. I always pay attention. I'm quite happy with the ones I'm in. But I always pay attention. And the reason being is because I love the industry so much. I'm not in competition with a skincare company. I'm not in competition with a blogging company. I'm not in competition with all these other people. These are just tools that I learn from people to build my business. And I evaluate any business on its own merits. It's just like if I was going to go out there and buy a franchise. If I evaluated a Subway franchise or a Wendy's franchise or a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Jack in the Box, okay, those are all different companies that I will evaluate and make my choice. It doesn't make the other companies criminal. I have just chosen to do this company. And I think we all need to really come together in this industry and really support each other. Because when we throw words out there, oh, that one's a scam, or they're shady, or this one's bad, guys, it hurts us all, okay? There's a lot of good companies out there. And there's companies that come, and there's companies that fail. Just like if you drove down the street to the strip mall, I can show you 5 empty buildings where those companies started and they failed, okay? And it doesn't matter what they are, okay? You got a 2% chance of starting a small business in this country and being successful also. So the same rules that apply to our industry apply to every other business out there in the world. So don't get caught up, okay? It's kind of like if I went out and spent $150,000 on a franchise but never showed up to open the doors, you think I'd be successful? Probably not. Yet there's people who get in this industry that never talk to people about what they're doing, okay? Are they going to be successful? Hell no. You've got to take the time to learn. You've got to, you know, like I say, you know, plug in, stay tuned, and stay involved. You've got to listen to the corporate calls whenever they are, training calls, testimonial calls, webinars. And the beauty nowadays is if you miss it, it's probably on some website somewhere where somebody recorded it. You know, there's trainings that I listen to. Nowadays, you download them to your iTunes, you put them on your little thing with your iPod, and you can listen to them through headsets, guys. And believe me, if I can do this, I am not technologically adept. I suck at technology. The stuff that I've had to struggle with, you know, I'm at that age where I just missed it, okay? Computers weren't in the high school yet. We just missed it, okay? And there's a lot of people from that generation, so you don't have to be tech savvy to do this business, especially with some of the stuff I'm going to share with you nowadays, because there's things out there you can plug into your business, guys, and you're up and running. You're not going to spend hours figuring out SEO and plugins and how do I do this and how do I do that, and I'm going to give you those, okay? But anyway, hey, opt in. You know, send me a link or send me an email. You want to be part of this, I'll get you the password, and we'll work together, and I'll teach you everything that I know, and hopefully we can gain knowledge together, okay? Thanks, and have a good one. Until next time. Thanks.